And there we go. We are now live.
Oh boy, it's on the clock now.
Brucio, hello. Seeker, hello, hello. Alaninium, thank you, hello. Nice to see you. Friendly. A woos to you. Hello, Bacon. That gets me hungry. But yeah, this is going to be an awesome stream today. We're going to be showing off the Neos the Universe to you guys. Dova, hello, welcome. Nice to see you, Nick, as well. Oh, got the hiccups there. Also, you guys, I'm going to be doing this stream with only one controller. I'm getting my controllers later on today. But yeah. So if
this goes out to all the left-handed people out there.
Yes.
I'm left-handed.
Oh, nice. But yeah, I will be getting my new Index controller today. If it comes during my stream and I have to sign for it because it's FedEx, then I'll have to do that. I'll be sure to use my left hand to sign for it.
Oh boy.
Also, what's in store for today's Seeker is we're going to be discussing some stuff, answering your guys' question, as well as showing off our brand new project that finally got released this week, which is Neos the Universe. Also, Lollerobot, thank you for, or Aurora, thank you for the bot or the follow as well. Or no, that's a subscription. Lawler, thank you for that tier 1 subscription, and Fuzzy, thank you for that subscription too. Thank you, guys. I should actually turn on my Twitch chat here on my camera. No more duct tape arm controller? No. No. Yeah, nice to have you here too, Wizard.
The stage arm.
Yeah, oh, thank you, yes.
Don't touch the hole, that's rude.
Zeno, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, we're just waiting for people to get in here, you guys, and then we're going to be going over our first thing that we're going to be talking about as to what's happened that's new here in Neos land. Hello, Conduit.
Just need to make a fake arm.
Yeah, just glue that to me. Great.
Yes.
We're gonna have live surgery here on stream. Fix Nexalen's arm. Oh, nice. Look at that. He's actually making it look pretty good. I have claws. They're sharp.
Yes.
Frox has feet
sure
and isn't hunched over. Yeah, look at they're moving around in their full body. Can you believe? Whoa. La da 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 da.
Okay, let's untop this. Oh wait.
Oh, they gave me the table.
Oh, okay, let's see. I need to install this.
Hello,
Fun
Mario.
time, Foxy. Thank you for the follow. Nice to have you here as well.
Wait, is this the right?
Yeah, this is my right hand. Also, welcome, Aegis. Nice to have you here too. Right? No, thank you, Funtime.
There you go. You have now. You have now the ultimate.
Here you guys
power
go.
over the
I'll give chat a high five. Whoosh.
Well, I'm gonna make 3 of these spike things.
This is I feel like this is worse. Yeah.
Like a lateral progression.
This is progression.
A lateral progression.
Oh,
I think
why did you shrink
it?
it?
Get worse.
That's even worse.
Well, it's just gonna be safer this way.
hand. Take my good hand. Here you go. Has anyone ever watched a scary movie before? They know what scene I'm talking about.
Probably put like 7 or 8 more spikes on and just turn into a morning star.
Raika, thank you for the follow. Nice to have you here on the official Neos stream. And in about a minute, we're going to be
It's big next color.
starting up. Yes, might as well make them like glowy green, I guess. I love how this time to get users in is just time to construct my arm.
Yes.
Also, I feel like the direction
Can't
of it is a little
rebuild
bit
him.
off.
We have the technology.
Oh wait, I've got a perfect
I
idea
don't
as
want to
well.
spend a lot of money.
We need to reconstruct to better. So I'm just gonna do a thing. Set a cylinder.
And yes, Secret, I've had to replace my controllers many of times. And it's nice that I got absolutely just fresh brand new ones. Because if something happens to them again, I can always just RMA them.
I just...
What?
Oh, poor ages on those. Hello, Will.
Lamau.
Also, welcome Sky as well. Nice to have you guys here. And my controllers were supposed to arrive today, but FedEx.
Oh, this isn't working the way I was hoping.
Oh god, did you jiggle it? Oh no!
Hold still, hold still. Hold very still.
Are you making the fingers Christmas lights?
Hold on.
I'm making them RGB.
There we go. I'm gonna...
Bacon, I recommend getting... I know that I probably shouldn't have said, but it's either get like a Quest 2 or an HP Reverb G2. Those are the best, like, cheaper end headsets that you can buy right now. I'd highly recommend probably just getting a HP Reverb G2, in all honesty.
Now I think that would have been hysterical to get a flat plane and just a PNG of a person's arm. Call that a day.
G2 has very good clarity, it comes with controllers, it's $600, and it has a good microphone. And it has index audio. So...
I don't know if this will work right.
Oh.
Okay, I need to add a manual, I think. So on this one...
Yep, and you wouldn't need base stations either. Don't have to spend all that extra money on controllers or base stations, it just comes all with the thing. That's right now the best... It's either that between, if you want super cheap, go with the Quest 2. If you want, you know, still semi-cheap, but it has pretty good quality, just be sure that your GPU can run it though. It's very high resolution. You might have to, like, if you don't have the right type of GPU, you might have to actually make the resolution go down. Also, Punk, thank you for the follow. Oh,
it sort of works. There we go. Now it's all dynamic. It's just as new.
Right, the names you gave it in the tree. Glued child.
Also, I have 3 of these for some reason.
Yep, what Wraith said, they did do a revise on the G2. Oh, and Russia says the G2 is actually 550 at HP, and
it's better.
And yeah, it doesn't go as wide as that is true, Rusio. But the clarity on that thing is much better than even the Quest or the Index or any sort of thing from yeah, that's out right now. That's decently priced. Good idea, Bacon. Yeah, the only reason that I haven't got the Varjo Aero, the human eye resolution headset, is because my computer isn't good enough yet, but I will be getting an upgrade. Kind of wanted to hopefully they'll come out with the 40 series next year. Okay, well, let's go over the first topic at hand, you guys. After Vera gets Zeused.
Rip them out.
What?
So the first topic at hand is inside of the Neos Essential folders, you guys. We have brand new avatars that we made out. I made it with my friend Electro. And this is to add to the diversity here inside of Neos and make it so then there's more humanoid characters available. These are all characters from Ready Player Me. It is a website that allows you to create your own human avatar. You can even upload a picture of yourself and make out your own type of like cartoony type humanoid avatar. I'll spawn out a couple of them so you guys can see what we have. But we have 25 male characters and 25 female characters. So let me spawn out a few. So got this guy. We got like Ed Sherman. Oh no, I'm not gonna spawn all 25. I'm just gonna spawn like 3 of the male characters. We also got some characters that look like they're from Squid Games.
Oh no.
It's really him. It's Richie Rich.
And we also got some pretty good female avatars too.
Wait, do they support eye tracking?
Yep.
And face tracking?
Yep, they do have the face tracking on them. Got Freddy Cougar.
Oh no. Didn't work.
And yeah. So lots of really nice humanoid avatars, and we're only showing just a little bit of them. Here, I'll hop into this one real quick. We only have like a few of them here. Oh. Ah!
Oh, that's
Yeah,
horrifying.
the face tracking on it is a little bit horrible. It has to be dialed down just a little bit, but you know, you can do like kissy lips with it. But yeah, there's over 20, or there's 50 avatars that we've now uploaded inside of here, and we do plan on adding hopefully some more of these as time goes on. But you know, this is at least something for right now.
Planning to add some more bees.
Yeah, the face tracking on that looks so straight. Wait, who is this that's wearing this one right now? Oh, that's weird. Oh gosh. Wait, get close to the camera and like
Anime Yoda.
Ew. Yeah. The characters do have with the face tracking with the nasal going upward. It just it makes you laugh, which honestly I feel like that's a good thing. They're only just a tiny bit. It's all good though.
How does this one with the face tracking?
Well, I mean, it's covered up. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Here, I got one that might match you a little bit better, Frox, because it has blonde hair. Here, maybe this guy. You look like a jock. There you go.
A jock with a skirt.
I know, it doesn't. Scottish, maybe? No, that's not Scottish. I thought it was a kilt.
Hey, you know, if you send me a picture of yourself, I can get one made out for you, and we'll have the Frooks one.
It'd be horrible. Why would anyone want such a thing?
I actually made one based off of a person here inside of Neos. We have Red Dragon, so I based this character off of Red Dragon and their clothing. So, pretty nice.
You know what this one reminds me of a bit? Have you seen the Cosmic Laundromat?
I haven't seen that.
The Cosmic Laundromat?
Yes. It's like a short like movie, like a Blender Foundation, and like there's a guy like called Victor, and he has a bit of like look like this. He doesn't have the glasses.
I was trying to make it look like Ed Sherman, but yeah, I mean, there wasn't like a scaled like you know, add a little bit more to the face, but that's okay. Or there is, but it's like... and yes, Earthmark, these are Ready Player Me avatars, and we added 25 female characters and 25 male characters inside of Neos Essentials avatars, and then Ready Player Me humans. And if you don't like the ones that we've uploaded inside of here, you can always make your own and upload them here into Neos, and they should be set up with face tracking right from the get-go. And you can do custom designs, anything that you want. It's kind of like making out like a Wii character, so it's really awesome.
They have like a thing like where you also like upload like your photo and like it tries to like match you as close as possible.
Yeah, and I don't think class that they have custom designs that you can do like maybe in Blender. I guess you could try to attempt it, but for right now it's just custom pre-made clothings that they've have on their website. But yeah.
There's also a thing like people like always like use like some kind of base and then like they make a lot of modifications to it, so it'll be interesting to see like what people do with these.
Yeah, plus it was nice to we didn't have any like decent human avatars inside the folder, and I thought, you know, it would be good to just take a couple hours to try to upload them all, set it up so then people have access to it. I actually handed it out to some of V-Bunny's friends. She's a TikToker and streamer as well as a YouTuber, and her friends got really excited that they could actually have these new humanoid characters, and they were like, oh wow, these are so much better, and they really liked them a lot, so I was happy to see that. But yeah, that's basically goes over this of talking about that one. Let me get back on my character. She can chill out right over there. Also, hello, Red.
Hello.
But yeah, and pretty soon, you guys, we're going to be actually heading into the Neos the Universe experience, or now just called the Universe. Which is a project that we've been working on that allows you to experience the scale of the universe all the way from down to the size of an atoms, all the way up to the size of
smaller.
Even smaller than the size of atoms, all the way up to the size of the observable universe. So it's a really...
It's like the Hayden Planetarium.
Yeah, a little bit. But it's really unique because when it comes to education or a standpoint as to where Neos's roots were about it... also, Fur, thank you for the follow. Why on the camera? There we go. Oh, now it's back. But yeah, it really goes to the roots of what Neos was all about trying to make this as to be also an educational platform. Really it's a very useful way to be able to, you know, see the scale of the universe, and it once we go through and you guys are here watching it on stream, I think you're going to be blown away about what it is like. Especially, I highly recommend that you actually do it in VR because it's really, that's what the experience is made for. It's made for grabbing onto these things, looking at them, really observing the different scale of, from like the scale of a bumblebee to a human to a scale of a bumblebee to, or you know, a whole entire planet to the size of like stars in our universe. So you can really get an idea.
That's a unit of measurement, the bumblebee.
Yes. Can compare things to everything. But it's also like a thing, you know, like virtual reality, like it gives you this actual sense of scale, so you can kind of tell like how big something is, and that's something that's pretty unique to this medium. So this experiment are designed to like leverage that, and actually like sense of scale. You know.
Sense of scale, like, their head.
Yes, kind of tell that's a big head. But that's the thing, like back in like 2015, like we made like a demo called Neos the Universe, and it was made for like a VR. It was like the mobile headset, like very snappy on phone, and you didn't have like any hand controllers. Like it had very weak hardware, like at least by today's standards. You only had like a touchpad on the side that you could interact with, but there was like VR was very early, and we kind of like wanted to showcase like VR can be like used to actually make education much better. It's going to make it much more fun. It's going to make it much more intuitive. But also we wanted to show this is what we want Neos to be, because we're like thinking about like making Neos to be like, you know, this platform where you can like build everything from within, and you could build educational experiences. And it was sort of like a sample of like we want people to be able to build experiences like this inside of Neos. And now we sort of like recreated like using like, you know, like Neos's collaborative tools, and we put everything like together, and we actually made it like better. Like the demo has much more functionality than the original one, so it was kind of fun to actually kind of, you know, like look back to like how Neos originated, and kind of
I remember back a few years ago getting my Oculus Go and really experiencing the original Neos, the universe, and just really feeling like I wanted to reach out. I wanted to start grabbing these items and really, you know, compare the size of scale. And now with Neos, we have the ability to do that, and it really is. Stemming off from that, and hopefully, you know, there will be the future of Neos to where we even go back looking at the Neos, the origins, right? And then actually implementing it here and through Neos, because I know that that's going to be a major thing for creators inside of here. So this is just another massive step that we've made for a project that is revitalizing it and just making it so much better and making it here to stay in Neos. And yeah.
There's also like another thing is because a bunch of like additions like we made like over like past month or two, they were actually done for Neos the Universe. For example, the collider visualization, we needed to set up a whole bunch of colliders, like because the experience, it has lots of objects, and we wanted to run really well. But setting up colliders like just by guessing like how big they are, it's really difficult. So I was just like, let's just add things to simplify it. But it's also something that everybody benefits from, because if we improve how you build content in Neos, if we improve it for our own like use cases like this, everybody benefits from it. Something like they do like the AnimJ format for animation. There's like been a whole bunch of other things, you know, auto-sizing the colliders and lots of improvement, bug fixes, and so on.
Yeah, so, it's funny how these little tweaks that we add in for our own personal projects really just go out and actually make all these interesting and amazing other things made out from the community. I love that so much.
Yeah. And also a good way like to inform development is like, you know, because like, you know, I mentioned earlier like the Cosmos Laundromat project, and it's something that Blender started like doing I don't know how many years ago. They kind of started like with this movie called Elephant's Dream, because like Blender, it had it had very like difficult to use UI, and a lot of it was like weren't quite as polished. And one thing they kind of did to change it, they actually started making official projects. They started like making animated shorts, and with the first movie, like Elephant's Dream, they actually added so many new tools to it. They changed the Blender like significantly just to be able to like do that movie in-house. But those changes they did to the Blender, like everybody benefited from those, and they've been kind of like doing it ever since. Like they've been doing lots of different like a film project. There was like I forget what it was called. There was like a Dragon one. There was another one. There was sort of like live action mix with like the Cosmos Laundromat.
Nemo Dream, or am I thinking of something else?
Elephant's Dream, that was the first one.
Dynamo Dream.
Oh, I don't know that one.
It was like a well-known Blender artist.
Yeah, they said, I love Elephant's Dream, favorite Blender open movie, says Taroid.
Yeah. It's kind of like the similar thing like we want to like do for Neos, you know, do official experiences and like use it to kind of inform how, you know, like how we like actually improve Neos itself and make like the whole community like benefit from that. So this is like a sort of like a good like test case for that.
Cool. Well, I think it's good, and I'm sure our viewers would love to see this project, and they can. We're going to show it off here inside of Neos, but again, you guys can see it here. But I highly recommend that you check it out in VR if you do have virtual reality, or even check it out in desktop mode. I think that you guys would be really even blown away with even viewing it in crystal clear detail. But we'll still be able to show it off here on stream. Of the Neos, the universe, and here, let's go in and head inside there right now.
Definitely something to be experienced in VR. Like,
and the world's name is called The Universe, and it is a featured world that we have. So let's pop that up.
Featured our own world.
And just be mindful, don't click on the orb yet. I have to go inside there because it is a hidden session, and then I'll make it so then it's non-hidden, so you guys can join in.
Okay.
And no, I haven't saved my current avatar, but I will save it once I'm back in there. Okay, let's get a session. Cool. So it should be good now for users to join. And right when we get all the people that we want inside of here, I'm going to be setting it to private just so then we don't get disturbed from the experience while we're in here. Hello, Aegis.
Hello.
Thank you, Lan. I'm actually getting my brand new controllers today. Hello, Big Red. We'll just make sure that Frox gets here.
I'm gonna watch this while enjoying a nice hot cup of coffee. Well, it was hot before, but...
That sounds great. Okay, so we're just gonna wait for everyone to load up, and we'll be starting this pretty soon. Before we do, though, let me set it to private. And so right off the bat, here inside of the world, we have these grayish floating cubes spinning around us, as well as if you look down, you can see your character. Obviously, the original Neos, the universe, we weren't able to have reflections like this and a lot better detail to the graphics. But we can still have it optimized and still make it look great. Yeah, the Gear VR or the Oculus Go would probably be. But yeah, and right off the bat we have this podium right here. This is how we control the universe per se. We have a freeform to the experience. Yep.
It's accessible.
Yep. So if you're a basketball player or somebody who's pretty short, you know, you can move it down to your level. Yep. And we have, for the universe, we have the selecting experience. You either have a narrative experience, which goes over a voiceover that talks about, that's the one that we're going to be playing, as well as a freeform if you just want to get right into it to see it. We also have subtitles, and we're actually going to leave the subtitles on for myself, so people who are hard of hearing can also hear what's going on for the experience. And why don't you do the honors, Frox? Let's Let's do it off.
I do recommend, if you're like trying this for the first time, I do recommend trying narrative first, because like the free forum is mainly for people who are like returning to the experience, who kind of want to like play around and don't want to go. So, everyone ready?
Yep.
Bah.
Welcome to Neos, the universe. The universe is big. Really big. You just won't believe how vastly, hugely, mind-bogglingly big it is. But we're going to show you anyway. And you know why? Because there's something even greater than the sum of all matter, energy and space in existence. Human curiosity. Our desire to learn has brought us a wealth of knowledge about the world we live in, and drove us to study it in even greater detail for millennia. Thanks to the works of the great thinkers of the past and present, you can now sit back comfortably and enjoy the marvelous journey that's about to begin. All complex things start simple, and that's where we start. The closer we looked while studying the nature of reality, the simpler but also stranger things became. We realized that virtually everything around us is the result of interactions of 12 fundamental particles of matter and 4 basic forces. In isolation, we saw only a handful of variations of these basic building blocks. But once they were put together and allowed to influence each other, complex behaviors emerged. Elementary building blocks of reality locked in together to make essential components of life. Over billions of years, the matter organized itself into complex interacting units, yet still so tiny that our unaided eyes could not see them for millennia. But the fundamental laws of physics kept sculpting and sifting through a plethora of possible combinations, forcing the simplest single-cellular organisms to take on paths as diverse as the environment around them. Many of them grew even more complex and specialized, combining themselves into large communities, like a fuzzy bumblebee and the flowers it drinks nectar from, or a giant whale swimming in the ocean. And of course, us, humans, with our fantasies, imaginations, and creativity. And it doesn't stop there. For thousands of years, people have built vast structures in the name of both science and art, as they spread over the land, hot or cold, wet or dry, high up or below the sea, building different countries and a rich spectrum of cultures. But exploring our home planet wasn't enough. We've already visited our own moon in person and sent numerous probes to explore our solar neighborhood, gathering new insights about all kinds of comets, volcanic and frozen moons, rocky siblings to our Earth, and the ancient gas giants that protected us for millions of years. We got our first insight into how much bigger the world really is.
Our sun.
Our gaze reached even further. It was over 25 years ago when one of our metal ambassadors looked back and saw the pale blue dot where it was sent from, and yet it entered the interstellar medium just years ago. Still a long way from reaching even the nearest of stars and pulsars, exoplanets and nebula. But light, the fastest messenger of them all, brought us information about them long ago. For decades, we have observed and catalogued billions of other stars within our own galaxy, wondering how many of them might contain life, or perhaps a whole civilization. As our most powerful telescopes reached into greater depths of space, we found many more galaxies, some with even greater quantities of stars. From this pale blue microscopic dot, we saw galaxies grouped into clusters, those into superclusters which form galaxy filaments, reflecting the ultimate structure of the observable universe. We might seem tiny and insignificant, but thanks to our imagination, in tow with our logical thinking and and powers of abstraction, we are capable of grasping the enormous space around us. And with the power of virtual reality, the whole world is within the reach of our fingertips. All you need is your own curiosity to reach for it. Thanks to the real-time collaborative powers of the Neos metaverse, you can not only explore the universe of both real world and imagination with your friends, but join us in building it. So without further ado, let's get started.
And there we are.
Now we're essentially in the freeform mode.
Yep, and freeform is really awesome. Oh, yep. So you can scale it, and we can basically how he's operating this is he's just grabbing the side of this wheel, and you can see there's a little dial to go all the way back to the smallest scale of the universe to the largest scale.
Like on edit mode, you've got a little catwalk there to work with as well.
Well,
it's quite insane, to say the least, when it's happening to you in VR.
That's gonna like go back to human scale. This kind of like tells you like how much, like 1 meter like equals to.
Yeah. So considering that I only have one hand, let me actually do it from Frox's viewpoint, so he can show you what it looks like when you scale an object in comparison to and how the scale of the whole world changes. So why don't you demonstrate that there, Frox?
So this is what the original experience will like run on the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. So like, you kind of made it part of the experience. But yeah, you can like pretty much like grab anything and kind of compare. So like for example, here you see like NASA Voyager. You can like see like the basketball. Is like this big compared to it. But if I also like scale it, it will actually. Somebody grabbing something.
Yeah, try not to grab something.
Yeah, there needs to be only one person to actually do it. There we go.
Cool.
It will actually scale like everything else.
Yep, there we go.
Grabbing something.
Nope, nobody is now. So yeah, you see how it dynamically scales every single asset that's inside of here as you scale an item, just to make sure that it keeps to the scale.
The way like you can like take something and compare it, like, and it'll still like maintain like relative sizes between everything. So I can take like the NASA Moorlander, and like here I have the ISS, and if I actually scale it even more, you can kind of see like how big it is like compared to the module. Or if I take the Voyager, we can kind of see and just compare them like next to each other.
Absolutely.
We have a thing like a FM radio, so like you can tell like this is the wavelength of the FM radio, and you can actually compare it like, and you see it's actually pretty big. You see the microwave somewhere, but that one's tiny now.
Really, really amazing. Also, why don't you show off the wiki that is on here as well?
Yes.
So
there's another cool thing is like you can pretty much click any of the labels. So if I click human, for example, you see it actually picks information from Wikipedia, so you can like learn more about everything. For some of the items, there's also like a related world. For example, if you click on the human, you have the human anatomy world. If I click human brain, see like I get information about human brain, and this links to the medical image examples, and it's one of the Purple Primes worlds, and you can actually like learn more about brains. There's like a MRI scan of a brain, so you can like play with it. Wait, can you not move it, please?
I'm looking for the blood cell. There's
no,
also
can you move it, please? If you click like on the Lunar Lander, I'm gonna click on it. We have too many things cluttered right now. So if I click like on the Lunar Lander, you see like this is like this links to the Apollo Reconstructed, and this way like we can actually have this experience serve as a like educational hub, and that's like one of the really cool things like about right on the CPU. I click on the CPU, I think there are links to like virtual coding.
A central processing unit. It's also called a central processor.
And I think that's kind of like related, like, you know, like to whatever the object is. If you also click on the dinosaurs, like we have, I click on the T-Rex, there's the carnivores world, like by Blanca. And it's pretty much like what the original idea for the experience was as well, because like the powers of 10, like when you go from the scale with like elementary particles, like is a really good section of all the different sciences. Like you start like at the level, we have like protons and neutrons. We don't actually have like electrons and other like particles like quarks, because those are like the true like elementary particles, and they don't actually have a size. They're sort of like 3 to the point like particles, but because like protons and neutrons, they're composed of like 3 quarks, we can kind of consider like, you know, the distance between those to be the size of the particle. But at the scale, like the scale is a little bit like fuzzy. It's kind of like weird.
Uncertainty principle kicks in at that point.
Not quite. As a little, well, actually, yeah, a bit.
Well, at least with electrons, usually we can figure out their mass, but knowing their position is very, very difficult. So
there's a little bit different thing. That's more like there's more about the size of them, because like the electrons, like whenever like something interacts with them, they act as a point like particles, which means like it doesn't actually have like any like definable size. You can have like a size of like the wavelength that kind of describes it, but like that's like not the size of the electron itself, and that's kind of like.
Oh yeah, the most we can get is like the mass. That's about it.
Yeah. But also like as we go like from like the, you know, like elementary particles, like, you know, like you can like remember about like stuff like quantum physics and like physics. You go like higher, like you get like stuff like you get molecules. So we have like a, you know, like for example, water molecule, you have like a glucose with ethanol. You can also see like
carbon nanotubes.
Yes. So you can like learn more, you know, about like chemistry. Like you go even higher, like you start like getting like DNA, you do alpha helix, then you have like a ribosome, you start getting like viruses. Or is like another cool thing. So there's like a transistor gate, and when we were actually like building this, like one of the team members, he was like, "Oh, I think there's like a mistake, you know, like the transistor, like it's like way too small. It's as big as a virus." And pretty much like this transistor, this is actually, compared to what we can manufacture right now, this is actually big, because like this is 130 nanometer process, but like now we have like 7 nanometers, even 5 nanometers, like one that's like a 1/10 of this. Wow. And that's one of the points of this demo, is like you start like when you can like grab things, you can realize, yeah, this thing, like this thing that's in my processor is about as big as this other thing, and you can just, you know, kind of put them side by side.
Crazy.
Yeah, we can make them really, really small, and this one is like relatively big. Like we can make them like now like about like roughly this, give or take, like a 10th of this.
I'd be nervous about like superposition of information going through if it gets that small.
Yeah, this is like a phospholipid bilayer. That's like what forms like cell membranes. So this we can make transistors like this big, roughly, or this small rather. And you kind of go, oh, this is another cool thing, is like you can see like we have like a wavelength, like this is like a cyan light, and this actually like measures the wavelength. So like one like when it goes like up and down, there's like a wavelength, and that's like what the size like refers to. And you can actually see like a cyan or purple light. Purple light is the most energetic light before like you start getting like into ultraviolet, which is like beyond what we can see. And this kind of shows you like why like we cannot actually like use like light microscope to like see some things like rhinovirus, you know, this causes flu, I think. The virus is actually smaller than the light, like the invisible light, so we have to like, you know, use like electron photography and like other methods to like visualize these. And again, like you can kind of, you know, like bring it and just like see like the purple light is actually like this bigger than the virus. Wow. And kind of, you know, like you keep going, like you have like, you start getting into more like earth sciences, you have like human cells, you have like particles, you know. We get all the way like here. We've got more like everyday objects, we've got like technology, you know, we've got like social stuff, like fun stuff, we've got like, start getting some space stuff already. You've got like, you know, like, I forget what it called, taxonomy, not taxonomy. What's the science of like zoology and, you know, like...
You're right, it's taxonomy.
Is it taxonomy? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you got like anatomy as well, like, you know, like start getting like into sciences like this.
That's great.
You got botany, you know, and go like even higher, you start getting like things like geology, geography, like, you know, you've got like different like landmarks, you got like sports, like it's, you got like a cargo ship like over here. And you go even higher, like you have like a Mount Everest, you have like the Large Hadron Collider here. So like, and there's actually just also this cool thing I'm gonna get back to it later about
the Large Hadron Collider.
You keep going even further. You get like into like, you know, you start getting like planets. You get like into like astronomy and like astrophysics, and And if we go all the way, kind of like, you know, like to the end, like we can kind of consider like stuff. There's actually a little Easter egg. There it is. We've got a Klein bottle.
Oh my god.
It's Easter egg. There's actually about 4 other Easter eggs in this demo. Like we're not gonna show them, of course. So like that's up to people to find them.
It's really to be a fourth-dimensional
one of the
moment.
Easter eggs. Yeah. But it's also like a thing, like you can consider mathematics to be sort of like abstract, so it's kind of like, you know, beyond like scale, and it's just like a really good way to kind of like, you know, like for anyone who's like curious, wants to like learn about stuff, like you can just like go there, go to any scale, and start.
Why don't you show the scale
like,
of our sun compared to the largest star in the universe?
Yes. So this is a really cool thing. So like I've got like Earth here. Oh, this is another cool thing because like we were like all of these assets, they're like made independently. So for example, the Earth, like this uses textures from NASA, and this is actual like image of our Earth, like or like it's a composite from like multiples probably, but you can also see like this is the moon, like this is actually how big the moon is. But what's really fun is because like we're like pulling everything together and like inputting the sizes. We have like this is like the United States of America. If you actually align it, you see like it matches well. And I was like a little bit worried like there would be like some like mismatch or something, but it actually like ended up like working really well. Oh, and also another cool thing is like you can see United States is actually bigger than the moon. It's even bigger than Pluto.
Wow. You can see that 2 of Jupiter's moons, one of Jupiter's moons and one of Saturn's moons are bigger than the planet Mercury.
Yes.
Ganymede and Titan, respectively.
Oh yeah. Oh, another thing, like you see, like
one is an asteroid.
Yeah, I've never liked the fact they called an asteroid after it.
There's also like, you know, like Mars is like significantly smaller than Earth, like much lower gravity, but like Venus like is actually very similar sized, and like this is like the magic of like VR and like making this interactive is like you can actually, you know, like take these things and compare them to each other. Oh, and you've got like Jupiter over here, and like you can just, you know, like you can just bring it and you see like this is how much bigger like Jupiter is. There's another part on this Jupiter.
Where's that red spot at? You can fit 2 Earths in it just about, can't you?
It's actually shrinking, so I think like this is more like recent. So if I find it should
it's freakier seeing how big it was back then. It's somewhere on the lower band here.
Oh, there we go, there we go, look at that. Yeah, you still like be able to like fit 2 Earths, now it's like 1.5.
It was 2 Earths in the 90s, I guess.
Yeah, it was like shrinking like over time.
Yeah.
There's like another one here.
So you see the diagram of the red spot from like the late 1800s. It's freakily large. It's unsettling.
I mean, like this is still huge. Like just imagine this is like a storm that's like been going on Jupiter for like I don't even know how long. Like at the very least like decades, and like it's literally like still bigger than our entire planet.
People are saying in chat that Australia is the same size as America. Why don't we test that theory?
Yes.
Australia's kind of large.
Oh, there we go. We got Australia here, and we got United States here. Yeah, they're
we're doing it from this scale.
Seems like Australia's a little bit smaller.
Yes. I don't actually... One disclaimer, I don't know what kind of projection... Actually, hold on, let me see.
Do you have what's the word for? Do you have neutron stars at all?
Australia's 4,000 kilometers and America's 4,313.
Oh, this one actually, I think this one's been made with... this one kind of mismatched. We might need to adjust this one a little bit.
Oops.
Because this is made like using like a map projection, so I think that ended up like making it a bit smaller.
Saturn has a hexagon.
Yeah,
it's only the North Pole is a hexagon. The South one isn't.
Hold on, I've got a neutron star. Like I added like one pretty later. Oh, there we go.
I didn't catch it. Is that what that is?
Yes, this is Pulsar. It's called Lake. This thing is crazy. Like this is you see like this is like the size compared to Mount Everest. But I think like neutron stars are like incredibly dense. They pretty much like what happens like just before like when you get like a supernova, the core of the star it collapses, and like using like gravity because like pretty much like the thermonuclear fusion is like no longer able to like sustain like the size because like the thermonuclear fusion like exerts like outward force while the gravity is trying to like shrink it. But
it pretty much like all the electron orbitals collapse into the surface. That's so much space.
Pretty much like what happens is like the particles like they get so close to each other that like because of the Pauli like exclusion principle, like the particles they don't like to occupy, like they cannot like occupy the same like state. It ends up like exerting itself as like like as outward force, and you get something called like neutron degeneracy pressure, and it's pretty much like what's like keeping this from like collapsing into like a black hole. But it's like incredibly dense. I think like 1 teaspoon of this can weigh about as much as this.
Wow.
I don't know exactly, like, but it is around the like ballpark. So like, and also this spins incredibly fast. I think this one spins like 161 times like a second.
Yeah, that's why it's going.
So like, the angular velocity is conserved when the radius shrinks.
Like these things are crazy. Like it always like reminds me like when people like play with something, like especially like in Neos, like if you find something, you just add a bunch of like zeros and see like what happens. Like these things kind of remind me like, oh, this is like if you could play with the universe, this is like what you would do. Just like push matter like to the limit and like see what it does. What kind of crazy things it will do. I really like this one because like there's a whole bunch of like pulsars and like
like super collider.
Oh no, yes. But I never like picking this one because like a lot of them they have like code names like this, like PSR B1257 plus 12. But this one actually has like a sort of like a nickname, and they call it like Lake, and it's not like a monster, and it actually has like 3 planets around it, which is like really weird for like these like extreme like collapse stars. And I think they named like one of them is named Poltergeist. I forget what the other 2 are called. So you can actually see, like, learn from like Wikipedia. So like 3 known planets named Roger, Poltergeist, and Phoebeater. So that's kind of crazy like to think about. So I figured like this one like would be really cool for like for education, because like when it's just like a name like this, it's not as personal, but like because this one kind of like it has a kind of nice name, it makes it a little bit more like approachable.
Yeah.
Did you ever consider adding like singularities to this, like ultramassive and supermassive black holes for skill?
We actually don't have a black hole, unfortunately.
Darn.
But we'll actually cover after Frox is done showing the star thing. We can show that you can actually add to this experience and add whatever you want. So we'll be showing that right afterwards.
Yes. That's another thing. This is all like if you took all water on Earth and put it like into a ball, this is like how big it would be.
Wow.
And this is all the liquid fresh water. This is even like tinier, and there should be like water in all lakes and rivers, and this is like how big that is.
Wow. That's so cool.
It's like a cool like comparison, this kind of like makes you realize like Earth doesn't actually have like that much water compared to its size. Like it's still like it's a huge amount of water, but like it's smaller than we would expect in a lot of cases. I heard like there was like interesting like comparison, like if like Earth was like as big as egg, then like the oceans, even the deepest oceans, like it would be just like the egg being wet. Like it's very like like almost like a thin film at its scale.
Like a pea next to an egg.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, and the other thing, like you can like take the Earth, like you can bring it like over here, and you see like this is how big our sun actually is, and you see like it's just massive. Oh, and Jupiter's about like 1/10 of the size. And sometimes like, oh, why is it sideways? Isn't it?
It's so big.
There we go. Yeah, like if Jupiter was a bit more like massive, it would actually become a star. Like it would have like enough like like it would have enough like gravitational like force like to kind of start like thermonuclear fusion.
It's K-class stars that are the lowest, right?
I'm not sure.
Something like that. Hate the classification system.
I do like it, like like thinking like this is like what like a failed star kind of looks like, or like people sometimes call it like failed star, I think. Oh, another thing. So you've got like the Earth, and you see like we are tiny compared to our sun, but like we take the sun and we shrink the sun. Look at these. These are some of the biggest stars, like known stars. Especially I think this one. No, that one is the biggest that we have here. UI Scuti. So like let's just go over here. Yeah, this is just like a like a really cool thing like about VR. Like you can already feel like this is ginormous. Like I have the sun in my hand, and like this thing is just like insanely big, like in comparison. And like in VR, just you feel like the hugeness of it. It just like dwarfs it in size, and it's just like crazy, like thinking that objects like this massive in our universe, because like
it's
the
like
sun
a speck.
itself
Like,
is
how
already
about
like...
you just leave the sun just right there, and then we'll back away from it just to really get an idea of how.
It's just like a tiny dot.
And right about to here, it disappears.
Yeah.
And we can still go back.
This thing is like insane. If you took, we actually have a solar system here as well. So like if we shrink this, this would like about, I think, engulf like all the way to Earth or even further. So we have a solar system, and like if we put this at the center, like it engulfs Jupiter, I think.
Yep. Saturn's the only one around it.
So basically, the star is about the size of our solar system.
Well, our solar system is much bigger. Like it's still like bigger, like you've got like a Neptune like all the way over here, and like you've got like a Pluto like further, and like then you've got like
to eclipse the orbit of Saturn's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it is like insanely huge. But also like and it also like brings me like some other things, like because like one of the things that what was inspired by is like there are like a lot of big power of 10 like demos like on internet, on like YouTube, like, and they were like pretty popular, but like people are always like, whenever they saw it, they always like had like this reaction, or like the universe is so huge and I feel depressed, and like I feel insignificant, and I was like felt like that's the wrong like takeaway from something like that, because like yes, it is huge. Like those things are just like unimaginably like huge in size. But like we are here, we can actually study them, we can compare them, we can like like they're like beauty, like and it's kind of cool like learning about this stuff, and it's kind of like what I really wanted like this experience to convey is like the universe, it is huge, but like we can explore it, we can like learn about it, and then not say that's this positive, like that's beautiful. More.
Also goes to show that there's so much more to explore than just what's on our own planet.
Yes. Yeah, there's so much unexplored on Earth as well, especially like in the oceans. I think like
oh my god, it was
I think like
icy.
oceans are like less explored than like the spaces or something like that. The Milky Way is the only one that gets like a really fancy one. These are...
Yep, and so the Milky Way is 120,000 light years across.
Yes. I can kind of still see like... Andromeda's pretty big.
Behind me.
Yes.
Actually, what's the triangle now that I think about it?
We do have like one of the biggest galaxies, like the supergiant galaxy. Over here. As well as more of like a halo kind of thing. You see like the ones are like giant. And then, like, you get, like, the galaxy filaments, like, the galaxies, like, at an even larger scale, we can form, like, the like, structures, and you can actually see that, like, like, this picture is, like, that's pretty much, like...
the other filaments?
Yeah, that's pretty much, like, the, like, large-scale structure of the universe. And it's kind of crazy to think about is, like, like, there's, like, so many stars within our own galaxy, and there's, like, so many, like, galaxies just within the observable universe, and, like, one thing that I always... that was like really like about this is like when you look at this, like when you see like this is the entire like observable universe. I'm just like thinking like this is more like amusing, but like would it be over here? Would it be like over there?
Almost 93 billion.
Wait, what?
Is the reason you went with this sort of projected image instead of like the microwave background?
Yes, I do like to like show like the structure of it, like the galaxy filaments, because it's kind of like it ties into, because like you actually get like size of a galaxy filament here, and this is pretty much like like galaxy filaments. So,
okay, all right, I get it.
It shows like the structure of the universe.
If it was like
better.
jump from one to the other, people I'd imagine would probably be confused.
Yeah.
Cool. So why don't we show off adding to the experience? Like, let's say if somebody wants to come into here and add in something, and we can probably get the real scale of that object and add it in and see how easy it is to add.
So before we do it, like I wanted to mention, I think we moved something here. Oh no. Move it too close. Statue of Liberty is too close.
This could be a Liberty moment.
Lady Liberty's face isn't looking that great in this one.
Oh no.
It's kind of looking like
there's like a bunch of them. Hold on, let me shrink it a bit. The one thing, be careful like when you're like grabbing stuff, though, especially when you're scaling, because they end up like moving a bit strangely. There we go. Oh, I wanted to like mention like one thing. There's like this experience was like built collaborative, like, you know, with like the NEOS team. We also had like Marinda Botha, who did like the narration, like in English. So I just wanted to say like a huge thanks to her, like for like lending her voice to this experience, because like it really, you know, like it pairs really well, I feel.
Yeah, thank you so much, Marinda.
She's one of the like meta movie actors. Like she plays usually like the robot, like, you know, like the robots, AIs, and so on.
Yeah, and I'll actually read out just the credits for it. Written, designed, and programmed by Fruxius. Narrated by Miranda Botha. Asset creation and additional programming by Aegis Wolf, Rushan,
Majihora,
Chroma, Nexilin, Geens, and 3D modeling UI design.
Wraith.
Where's Wraith at?
Oh, you have old NEOS build. You have old NEOS build.
Oh, okay. So, well, then Wraith as well, because I'll even prove that I can't read it on there. So it's like right there.
I'm just gonna screenshot it. We did update the credits like with a few things.
As well as 3D modeling, UI design, and programming by Ryuvi, sound effects by Lewis Snow, and subtitles by Carol Hulke.
Hulitz.
Okay. Hulitz.
Yeah, pretty much like majority of the team kind of contributed like to this experience. This is what it looks like with the latest build. And also like, you know, CC0, C3 attribution like assets. Like majority of them are actually like NASA, you know, like NASA assets. It's actually pretty cool because like in Sketchfab too. So yeah, and it's also the cool thing is because like they build like this experience like collaborative. They like launched part like you know, like we actually were like together in this world and we're like building it. And the tools that we use to build this demo is actually available for everyone. You just click like this toggle edit mode. You get like this kind of cube, and pretty much like this allows you to add anything to the experience. Like if you want to like bring like your assets, like expand the experience with more, you can. Do you have any cool object? Oh, it just has a Stargate. I don't know how big Stargate is.
6.71 meters in diameter.
So, diameter. How much is what? Can you say again, please?
6.71 meters.
6.71. Show it from this viewpoint, Max. So, you can actually type like the size, and you can like type the unit, or like parse it, and make sure also to press align, and then just click add. And now this is part of this experience, and you can actually compare it, like, you know, to the other stuff. Yeah, it's a human.
Nice, yeah, oh yeah, that's a good example. You're yelling at this. Wait,
is that the inner diameter or the outer diameter? No, that's
I love showing with you guys too.
It's a cool thing, you know, like you can even like bring like fictional objects and just like you see like, oh, this is like how big Stargate would be like compared to like a Voyager, you know, and just like start like comparing.
Definitely
stuff.
would be able to fit a rocket ship through it though.
I know. Well, definitely not the Starship.
You need a puddle jumper for it. Okay, now for something more larger.
This
a line and 10,000 kilometers.
Oh, don't use the command for it won't accept it.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. 1,000 kilometers.
There we go.
And it auto scales to this relative scale here. So.
Where's the Earth? Oh, Earth is all the way up there. There we go. Ease. Oh, where is the sun? There was the sun. I think we need to go a little bit further.
It's the Halo Ring model I modeled a while ago.
And it was the sun.
Barely fits the Earth.
Awesome.
Where's...
Which that's really cool. It shows that you could also compare it to, you know, like fantasy-based kind of objects, and it isn't just stuff that can exist, you know, in real life. It could be things of like really getting comparison as to the size of things, even through fantasy.
As one of the cool things is like, you know, like, because like even when we were like building it, like anytime like we would like stop like working, save the world, like I just would like do this, like we would just like, hey Loring, let's compare it, like see like how big it is, and I feel like that's really cool because like you can have a lot of fun with it as well. But as you're like having fun, you're actually like, you know, like you're learning like the scale of the universe. You know, you can get like into the feeling. This is how just this compares like to these like real world objects. So there's a lot of like you know, like cool like educational like effects like that. Just like this one, like that's one of my favorite like pictures like for sci-fi. This has like huge amounts of like sci-fi ships, like TV series, like movies and games. And it's just cool like seeing like, you know, like the size of them. I was like, it would be like really awesome like if somebody like was able to actually like, you know, recreate this like in 3D. And that's another like reason like why we made this kind of like open, so you can actually, you know, like add your own content. You can like, even if you don't want something, you can just delete it and kind of build things from scratch. So if anybody is willing to put enough effort like to create something like this, sometime down the line, it'll be very exciting.
Yeah. And Diva's saying Death Star question mark? I don't think we have a Death Star model. Do we have a Death Star model?
Yeah, we don't have a Death Star model.
Death Star model, but I can find the... We can make a sphere and type it the exact diameter. Let's see here.
I've got an idea.
Sure, we can show you what that looks like.
You make a sphere. I have a material that's gonna work pretty well, I think.
Yep, let me just first type in the
size,
diameter, or dimensions.
Oh, yeah,
okay, here we go.
Yeah,
first Death Star was 120, second was 160. Let's see here. What is the largest Death Star? I mean, I know
it's probably gonna be the Planet one from Force Awakens.
We might as well make both.
Also spoilers. How can you say spoiler and then say you said the thing and then you said spoilers afterwards? It doesn't work like that first.
Well, they could watch the part after first and then like decide like if they interest them more or not.
It's so shiny. I love the reflection probes in here to where how shiny it is.
Yeah, look at like this thing, you know, like it's one of the reasons I really like when you get like to the stars, because like, you know, like they kind of reflect like in the glass and it's like so pretty.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna bring this in here, align, and it's the second Death Star. It's going to be 160 kilometers in diameter. So let's add that.
There we go.
Now we can compare that actually to our own moon, which okay, is that
Czech Republic?
Or the moon? Okay.
Oh, that is huge. That's
no
huge. Yeah, that's not moon.
So yeah, compared to the moon's the size. Yeah, for the star.
What else do we have? Got an asteroid.
Oh, Ganymede, the asteroid.
Space station.
Oh, there we go. We got Mount Everest.
Diva's saying, thanks guys, I did not expect that.
Look, this Mount Everest compared to like that star. This is huge. It's actually bigger than I thought that star is.
Yep.
Even like this, like imagine like it takes like a it takes like a 3 hours to like drive like this distance. And that's like filled with like people in rooms and stuff.
And a giant laser.
Let me shoot Wraith an invite.
You sure wouldn't want to be late for a business meeting if you were on this side and you needed to be there.
Angel is asking, are there any black holes to compare to? I'm fascinated by them. Sure, we actually have a black hole model that we could use. I have inside my folder. We can definitely do a black hole for you guys.
Real quick, get Starkiller Base. I'm curious on how big that thing is.
Let me find like some. This is like a thing because like black holes like they come like in all kinds of like sizes. Like you've got like you've got like more like we got like more like irregular ones. But then you also got you got like supermassive like black holes, especially the center like of a galaxy and such.
160 kilometers.
So let's say average.
There's actually another thing. Usually, like the black holes, like they represent like the size that represents the event horizon, but like here, like this showcases also the accretion disk. We don't want to include it in the size. So for objects like this, you actually have to take the cube and you have to adjust it, so it's gonna fits roughly. Let's see, like this. So this kind of roughly fits like the black part. So like this kind of like excluded. Oh, this is fine, like some common black holes.
More that way.
So, oh geez, supermassive black holes, they can be all the way to 400 astronomical units. So, oh, actually, intermediate like black hole apparently is like roughly radius of Earth. Stellar black hole 30 kilometers. Is that really small? Micro black hole up to 0.1 millimeter.
Do they base it on the Schwarzschild radius, or do they base it on the solar mass?
I think it's at that point it's pretty much the mass.
Okay.
Because like you don't have like the thermonuclear like fusion like pushing back against it anymore. Okay, so oh no wait, this is mass, so approximate radius. So like intermediate black hole. I don't know what it is exactly. So intermediate black hole. What is intermediate black hole? Size. Yeah, they come from all like. Let's say like if we have like any known like black holes, I think it's gonna be a little bit easier to like understand.
I remember right, like a normal black hole starts around like 20 to 25 solar masses, right?
Well,
from that to 50?
Like black holes, they go from anywhere from like 0.1 millimeters, like super tiny, to like 400 astronomical units, which like would that's several times bigger than our like solar system, I think.
Well, I know the supermassive ones are larger than our solar system, and then you got like the ultramassive ones that are dummy large.
List of black holes. There we go.
I can't remember the name of the substellar ones that are supposed to be like the size of planets or like borderline invisible because they don't feed. I can't remember the name of that classification.
Sagittarius A. So there's
Sagittarius is our galactic one, if I remember right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, how about RX J1131? First black hole whose spin was directly measured. Let's see.
It's not the one in the Orion region, is it?
No, in Crater. Hold on, let's see. Just doesn't say the size, though.
Okay.
There's a lot of them, it's just like, I don't know, like, which one would be good to pick. I don't like, maybe on such chat, like, do they have a favorite black hole? We can put that one in.
Death Star?
Oh no.
The largest known ultramassive black hole, ton 618,
yes.
Around 78 billion miles in diameter.
Why did they do it in miles instead of AU? Like, that's a ridiculous number already.
What?
So type in Google TON ton 618.
Ton 618. Let's see.
It's a couple orders of magnitude larger than our entire solar system, I think.
It's so big that you just can't really imagine that something like this.
618?
Yeah. Yeah, TON 618.
Okay.
Scale at times can be an extremely hard thing to comprehend.
But very fun to try.
This is most perfect well,
yeah.
For the mass.
I think this is by far
the size. Where's the size?
There we go.
Oh no, there is Schwarzschild radius. Yeah, that's that's based on mass. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so let's see, black hole diameter.
There you go. I can just sit here now. There we go.
So we can actually type this. Do they have this in astronomical units?
I'm looking for that right now. They have it in AUs.
Yeah, it'll be easier. They really won't have to type too many zeros.
I don't need your apparent magnitude, damn it. Oh, here. No, wait, that's the mass. The mass is 66 billion solar masses, which is a bit large.
Angel says that it's apparently.
Oh, I found it. Okay, I found it. It's 1,300 astronomical units. So.
That's a couple times larger than our. Yeah.
Yes. This actually shows you can like type this. So like if I type this like IU, it's actually gonna like it understands like those units. So let's add this in. Boop. Okay.
That shouldn't be right.
Wait, what did I do? Oh no, did I break
You
it?
hit a line. You didn't.
Oh, madame. Oops.
Big brain
Oh
moment.
wait. Oh, can you undo, please? And oh no, we did it. We did it wrong.
Wait. Oh, okay.
We did it wrong. Like we didn't align it right again.
Wait, 1300 AU. Into the...
Can we bring another one in?
Yeah, sure. You're all good.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Here you go.
Another boy. Ooh. Hey, that one works.
There we go. And we scale the cube. A little bit bigger. A bit bigger.
Yeah.
You can actually see like the intersects there. I think it's
bottom
good.
sticks out a tad, but I mean,
there we go.
Pretty good.
Oh, it doesn't have to be. It just has to be like end to end. Has to be like the size.
That's good enough.
So you could actually probably even compare it to the size of a galaxy.
Oh jeez. No, galaxy's still way too big. Galaxy's way too big.
Galaxies are still large, like a
It's
bit
like a
larger.
nebula.
Unless you like compare it to like a Magellanic Cloud or.
Okay, can I hold on? No, don't start the black hole.
Interesting.
I don't think anyone would be with their black holes that big.
There we go. Okay, so let's do this. There we go. So we've got like one of the biggest stars. That is giant.
That's
like that's
Scuddy,
just
Scoozy, whatever it's called. Howling sounding one. Yeah.
Scooty. I don't know how it's pronounced.
And keep in mind, the
That's
sun
crazy.
is like a grain of sand compared to that
Yes.
still.
Wow.
Also next to in the solar system. There we go. This is the size of our solar system up to Neptune. And the actual size, like the size, like depending how you measure, it's like twice as big.
So, yeah, it depends if you want to consider the Oort cloud part of it or
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're called
like
ultramassive for a reason.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yes.
You can see little planets moving around.
Yeah, without specifically like up to Neptune because like it's just like you can measure the size in lots of different ways.
Actually, is the sun accurate to scale? I mean, I know the
It's
planets
not.
obviously aren't. Okay.
Like the planets on this, the planets we made so like the planets are relative to size to each other. The sun is not relative to the size because like if it was like it would be engulfing part of it.
Well, okay, I
And
figured that.
Also like the orbits, they're actually like the speed of the orbit is like correctly relative to each other.
Does Mercury have like that messed up like 0.43 eccentricity thing?
No, we
it
made
looks,
like
yeah.
circle, we didn't like complicate this too much. Yeah, there's
Okay.
another thing, it's like the orbits, they're actually not like perfect like spheres. They also like decided to like not include Pluto because like it's kind of like, you know, what's the word?
Tilted.
Tilted, yeah, like the orbits are like,
Yeah, Pluto's not a real planet anyways.
it's still there, but we have planetoids. Dwarf planets.
Still very unsettling with that thing as the backdrop though.
Yeah, this is like,
Yeah.
this is like insane, like to think about. It's this one.
One of the things that I heard about a while ago was to do with interstellar travel and basically using stuff like pulsars that always spin with a fairly consistent speed. Using
Oh, are you
those
talking about the
pulses.
I think I know what you're talking about. It involves frame drag, right? Around the ellipsis of a ringularity.
That's amazing, though.
I'm trying
That's
to remember
really
the name.
Yes.
so awesome to just
Specific-
add to the
there's a specific
experience
name
and
for
see
it
all
that
these
I
different
can't-
skills. and can
remember.
just compare the size in real time.
I know more.
And I can understand why you made this kind of experience, because VR really does have a sense of scale
I'm very
to
aware.
it.
I'm very aware what I did.
It just makes obvious
let
sense
them
to make an
fight.
experience that allows you to make use of that scale and use it
It's
in a
not
use
on-
case that
it is
really
not on the
can't
planular
get through
axis.
just saying, oh,
It
numbers in a
intersects with
textbook,
another
or
planet.
oh, it's this
There are moons
large.
that are
No,
bigger
if
than
you
it.
really
On a
put it
planet.
up to
It's not even the biggest dwarf planet that we've
up against
seen.
each other, you really get a
You classify
real
that as a
sense
planet, you
of
might
it.
as well classify like
Oh, yeah.
series as a
big
You
planet.
can, just like, you know, like compare like everything like to each other. Like it just it gives you that like you know there's another like inspiration for this demo I wanted to mention, because like one of my favorite like people like one of my favorite like teachers in the history is Richard Feynman, and he was like a physicist, and he wrote like volumes like on physics, and like in the beginning of one of them he actually talks about like, you know, like how to understand sort of like the universe through scales, and it's like 3 different scales, and one of them is like size, you know, like the size of like items, and like if you go through the like powers of 10, like you go from the smallest like elementary particles all the way to the observable universe, and it's just like this beautiful cross section. And another one was time, like going from like super short times, like I don't actually even know, like thing like femtoseconds, and like all the way to like, you know, geological like epochs, and like even larger scales, like at which like the universe like develops. And there was like a third one, I forget what the third one was. I think it was mass, but I'm not sure.
It's either mass or distance, I think is what the third one was.
No, distance was the first. So distance.
Oh, you said distance first, never mind.
Yeah, distance, time, and the third one, I think
Scale.
mass. No, the scale is distance.
Oh, yeah, you can, yeah, that is classified as that, wouldn't it be? I guess, yeah.
But like pretty much like the first one, like that's like what this demo is like about, like, you know, like it is a good like cross section of like the universe, and this is one of the things that kind of like led to this as well. I forget the context. I was gonna mention something, but I forgot now.
That's okay.
Oh no.
Yes.
Divani said, crazy educational tool. Hope this is one of many that will exist in Neos.
Yes. We don't have to do a whole bunch of more. And it's kind of like also the idea, you know, like I mentioned, is like we want to like kind of interconnect them. So like if you want to like start learning about something, like we want to like you can like jump into this demo and, you know, just like see them.
Amazing.
So this is what Mercury's orbit is like. I'm sorry, I just had to make it so I can climb on these.
It just is up to his usual business.
Yeah,
One of
and
these days, there's going to be so many different things you could learn about pretty much anything in VR.
yeah, and to mention of what Diva was saying, we do have plans on doing the Apollo mission project, which that one is basically we're going to be having actual scans of photography where you can actually see the real footsteps, and as well as other different pictures that are taken on the moon. So and you can go on the moon, be in like a museum, and there's going to be a lot of like good educational things for that. Hello. Yes, it's
Can
going
you
to be
imagine the Apollo 13 VR experience?
Yeah, that's basically
we
what
actually have a thing from Apollo 13 in the experience.
Yep.
Like we do have like we have like a teaser for it, because like we're trying to like get something done for like 50th, but like we're just like busy at the time, so like nothing ended up happening. We want to make like experience, because like one of my hobbies is like, you know, 3D scanning. I really like reconstructing stuff like from photos, and I was like thinking, could I actually like look at some historical photos and reconstruct something from them, you know, photos I didn't take myself. And I was just like thinking, what's a good like source of like historical photos. The cool thing is the Apollo missions, NASA published pretty much like all the photos they took like just on Flickr, like they're available in public domain, like pretty much everybody can download them. So I went through the entire archive, I found like I grouped the photos, I found like something that are good candidates for 3D reconstruction, and actually managed to reconstruct like a few dozen 3D models. And what's really cool about them is like they are reconstructed from the photos they're actually taken on the moon. It's not like artist recreation. It's the actual thing, and we kind of like want to like build like this moon museum like experience around it, and there's like a few samples there.
A moon museum.
And I'm curious because you've had previous 3D scans in the past where the construction, it was okay and it does show it off. But are you planning on redoing the construction now with the software being better? Perfect.
Yes,
yeah.
they improved the 3D scanning software quite a bit. It was actually really difficult to get something, because originally I only got like a few scans, but then I found like a method because I could like take like like the camera calibration data from like a good reconstruction and apply it to like some of the others, and actually managed to get a little more things to reconstruct. But ever since, like I did the original ones like 3-4 years back, I don't even remember. Ever since then, like they actually improved the software quite a lot, so it makes much better reconstruction. So I just want to like return everything, and then like we can like build like the sort of like space museum and like publish the experience and kind of show people like history, about like more exploration like this way, like have it as a new way to
somebody
that.
had a funny word or pun. You could call it the Moonseum.
Yes, we do have like one thing you can actually see like in here. Oh no, it's pointing the other way. You see there's a picture of Earth like in the sky. And that's from Apollo 13. Like we were like it's kind of. It was unfortunate, like Apollo 13 did actually make it to the moon, but they still like NASA has published like photos. It was like. I was like thinking like there's this like really
what
famous.
else are they gonna do if they're not gonna land on the moon? Take a whole bunch of pictures.
Yeah, I mean like they take like a whole bunch of pictures like on the way there and on the way back. Like so like even the other missions like they have those pictures, but I was like let's just take the Earth from Apollo 13. So there's like a little bit of that in the experience as well.
Like okay,
but that is something for the future. Like
It's been planted.
Another cool thing was actually for fun, like when we were like working on this I was gonna mention another thing as well. When we were like working on this experience, all of the names of the things, they're actually like part of the like local file, and it was like I've been like mentioned like the people like who are like translating us to different languages. You don't have to bother with this. It's a lot of text, like it's a lot of like specialized text. You don't actually have to translate it. But like people like from the Japanese community and Korean community and like a Russian translator, like a bunch of like others, they were like, well, you said we don't have to translate it, but we translate it anyway because it's fun. And it was kind of fun. They even like mentioned like they actually had to like look it up because like they themselves, like for example the Japanese, like they didn't know how some things are called in Japanese, because they're like specialized. So they had to like look them up, and they said like it was kind of fun, like to learn. And there's actually kind of that segues like into the other thing I wanted to mention, because like part of this is like like when you're like messing around and like learning about things and clicking and adding stuff, like even now like we learned about like the black hole, we learned a little bit more like what black hole like radius like is and so on. And it's kind of like what I feel like education should really be like, is like you're having fun, you're like toying around with things, and through that you're actually like learning like that bits of information, you're like understanding the world like a little bit better. So that's what I feel like is a little bit like the power of like like social spaces like this, like power of like metaverses, because like you can have like people together and like through the social interaction like everybody learns like something new.
It's a lot easier to get like into something when you really get hands-on in it, instead of like being asked to sit still for 3 hours a day like you're supposed to be paying attention. It's like, no way, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, you can even see that that they're paying attention through eye tracking and such like that too. Have some data.
There's actually another thing, like we have one guy who was like a pioneer, like who pretty much like started like using Neos. Well, he actually supported us like really early on. He helped us like do like some educational project and so on. And he finally like managed to like build like a VR lab at the Czech Technical like University in Prague. And a few weeks back, they did actually the first lecture where the students like went into the VR headset and they were like doing like tasks, they were like building something. He found like interesting thing, like he always like, because before the students they were on computer screen, just like with keyboard and mouse, and he always like suspected there's like a few students who were like who they don't attend the lectures, they don't look at like the live stream of the lecture, they just come there and they just like copy like they copy whatever the neighbor is doing.
Right.
When they did the first one in VR, they found you cannot do that in VR.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you have that set on, you cannot just copy. So like he was like, you haven't been paying attention.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
There you go, Fruits. Have a breath.
PNG, it's what I've always wanted.
Yes, that's just some of these. There's like a whole bunch more.
Yeah.
Like this goes like lines and lines. There's like, I think like probably over 100. I'm not even sure.
I think when I first started,
Couldn't agree more, Secret.
I think
Very
there
true.
was 100. I think there was 130 something lines when I did the original document.
Oh, that's quite a lot, yeah. Oh, but like, I wanted to mention another thing. Like, is like, do we even manage to work? Because people like they like put like quite a bit of effort, like, you know, into translating everything. So I can like change my news language to Japanese, and let's do this. And now like everything's in Japanese for me except like this thing we just added. So if I take a screenshot, you'll be able to see like this is what I see.
Oh yeah, and it's in Japanese text.
Yes, and the cool thing is, like, if you actually click the name of something, I'm gonna click this one, like, it actually queries Japanese Wikipedia.
Kanji and everything.
Here we go.
Yep.
Here we go.
If I switch this to, like, Russian, I don't pick it like these languages, but it's kind of easy to tell it's a different language.
Yes, it's
Russian, there we go. So I could click on Russian, it's gonna be Russian. Oh, this doesn't have a... Oh wait, I need to... There we go. There we go, and it's in Russian. If I choose it from Russian Wikipedia, and if I switch it like to Czech. For Czech one, we actually also have like a Czech voiceover. So if I click on this is in Czech. So this is in Czech. So it kind of like picks up your language, so like we do also like want it to be like, you know, accessible. There's actually a thing we're probably gonna like release some like information if people want to also help us do like the narration in different languages. And the system is kind of like prepared for that. Like it is actually relatively like easy to add new languages. We weren't unfortunately able to like extend like the localization system to support it. That's something we want to do in the future, but we ended up sort of baking in the world, so it's more of a hybrid system, which is not ideal, but like unfortunately, like due to time constraints, like we had to go that way. But actually go a little bit higher.
I also noticed the Wikipedia links also change as well that open up in the web browser.
Oh.
Yeah, when I click on something, I'm in the German language now.
Yes.
It puts me through to de.wikipedia.org.
Yes. No, that's what I was just like showcasing.
Yeah, I showed that.
So over here, we should have there's narrative mode, with management logics. I forget where did I put it. So there's voiceover. This one should be driven though. Oh, there we go, language assets over here. So there's language assets, and we have like English and we have Czech. And pretty much like you put like different like languages over here. If I actually reset the experience, actually is it okay to reset? Like I really want to like run through it in Czech.
Go for it.
Very few people are gonna be able to understand it, bro. So if I reset, and I'm gonna switch my news to Czech.
Vesmír je obrovský.
It's actually gonna be in Czech.
Velmi obrovský.
Ooh.
Ani neuvěříte, jak nesmírně a úžasně obrovitý je. Ale přesto vám to ukážeme.
So if people do want to like help, like do like voiceovers like in different languages, like we're definitely like open to that. Like definitely cool, like having this, you know, like translated.
Naše touha po poznání nám přinesla bohatství znalostí o světě, ve kterém žijeme. Hnala nás k hlubšímu zkoumání.
I'm Greaser's SE who did this voiceover.
Díky pracím
this was done through like an agency that does like voiceovers. There's actually credits as well. The name of is like a voice actor. He's called Zdeněk Junák. It's actually funny because like you know, like this voice actor, he's like really well known for like voiceovering like this telemarketing guy.
Yeah.
And apparently like people like because they associated him with that, like other people like don't pick him, but like I was like, yeah, we need to get him. Like that's perfect. And also I think I don't know if I might be misremembering, but I think he spoke in Czech like dubbing of Star Trek.
Oh, really? Wow.
I'm not 100% sure. I might be misremembering, but I think I heard Karel like mentioning that. Karel was also like the one, you know, who kind of like arranged like the you know, doing like the Czech voiceover. He translated like everything to Czech as well. That way, like we can actually have this as part, like, you know, of education, like sort of like education like solution, like for like Czech universities and schools. Also, I'm gonna show you a little trick that we did like while developing this, when we need to like run this. There's a speedrun mode. So, voiceover, it's master clock. Speedrun. Actually, there's another way to speedrun.
Well, there we go. Nice speedrun there.
Yes.
Universe speedrun.
But yeah, you see, like it does like have like multiple languages like this. They're like so different to like select movie, like the proper like translation system once we have it like ready in the future. It's gonna make it much easier because right now we will have to like save the world if somebody like does it, but we'll share more details on that as time goes. We do have like a sort of like behind the scenes video like on this as well.
It was quite funny as well because the first version we worked on actually wasn't the English version.
Wait, what?
The first version we were working on in here when we first started wasn't the English one. With the narrations.
Wait, was it?
No, it
but
was the Czech narrations. Because our English narrations weren't exactly correct.
Well, we had like the original like narration, but like it had like a bunch of like mistakes, so like we couldn't actually use it. So we used like the original demo in 2015. That was the English one, but we also like, needed to check.
Started in here.
Yeah, but we were like working with this. Like we actually were using like the Czech one because like we had that minority, and the English one came later.
Yep.
Yeah, we just like changed like the timings for it and everything. The original, it also like mentioned like you know, like at the end it kind of like invites people to like kind of explore Neos and help like build everything together and like help build like educational experiences. The original narration actually mentioned like it was more like gather like for Neos, like Neos is something that's coming in the future, and like obviously like that didn't make sense anymore because like Neos is here now. Like back then it was just more of a concept. We got injured into the helicopter. It's very dangerous.
It's very dangerous. Let's get as close to people as possible.
Yes.
Yeah. Off with his head.
Oh no.
Also, this is roughly the size of the phone I'm holding right now, and it's kind of surreal. Like I can put my finger across the sides.
And then it blows up while you're using it.
No, actually I'm still using this phone.
You're still using the Note 4?
I'm still using this one. I'm like, it's good as a big screen, like it is this swappable battery. Yeah. Well, actually I don't use this swappable battery. I don't use the stylus much. I also like read things.
I have the Galaxy Note 3, so I have like one right before, but it's pretty much the same.
I have the Moto G Power, and that phone lasts me for about 2 days of battery life. That's pretty crazy.
Ooh.
How am I supposed to read with this kind of phone?
Yeah, I picked up a Pixel 4a recently, and I love it.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, this experience is really amazing, and again, you guys, this is the universe. You can come inside of Neos right now and check it out in VR or in desktop mode, and, you know, let your friends know about it, that this educational experience is here. Maybe you might even be in college and you want to just show it to somebody that you know there, and, you know, you can get the word out about this sort of thing, because I really think that it can benefit schools and real life teaching in so many categories, so... It's really amazing.
We actually had like, you know, we actually had like a Jason from like the Meta movie. Like we showed him like this experience. It actually like told us that like this experience is also like really good for the teachers, because like if you're like a teacher who wants to use VR, or like you want to convince other teachers why to use VR, like you can kind of like put them into this experience, because like you don't need to do much. Like you just put them into the experience, you press the button, and they just experience everything. Like they can just be like looking around. Oh, that's many arts. And like there's also like one of the point, like even original experience, like we made it so like it's as simple as possible, because like we could just demo it very easily. We just put on the headset on somebody and like they just experience everything, and you know they don't have to like learn any controls. They don't have to like learn like how to like move around and so on. Obviously, like if you want to like kind of start like, you know, interacting with things and so on, you do have to do that, but it makes it you know, it makes it much easier to just like run into an art experience and still get a really good one. So, oh god.
Yeah. Well, we'll close down the universe and head back inside of this. Why did you want to?
Destroying the universe. Destroying the universe.
Yeah, we were destroying the universe. It's
we're gonna destroy the universe.
Unless there's a few more things that you wanted to cover, though.
You're looking over the wrong side. That's 11. Ooh.
Let me see. There's like a lot of little tidbits everywhere, like in details, like for example, like the atoms, like we kind of shows like there's also like, you know, like especially when you get to like scales like this, you kind of have to like use some artistic license, but like we kind of like end up like showcasing like the size of the atom, like especially like the electron orbital model, you know, it's kind of like this noise, and it's because like it's more accurate to like how electrons like kind of behave, because like instead of like, you know, there's like this old like Bohr model, like where like the electrons are just like orbiting, like, and that's like used because it has like educational value, but it is not quite accurate because like the electrons, they don't actually like orbit, they're more like, you know, like a probability cloud where like it kind of describes like what's the probability of finding the electron and particle like point in space. So we just end up like doing this, like, you know, so kind of visualize this. So another thing is like this is helium, so we've got like 2 protons and 2 neutrons. It kind of showcases like, just to make it like visible, these are actually way bigger than they should be, because like if you take this and like we scale that was a good idea. We scale it up, like watch how long it is before we actually start seeing protons and neutrons. Like we don't even like see the atoms anymore. I think there's like 4 or 5 like orders of magnitude separation. Where would it go?
It was like 5 femtometers, I think, is where it appeared. Oh, that.
Yeah. So like you can actually watch like over here, like you see like so we're about like 10 to the power of -10. You can like have like these guys on the floor, and if I go here, then we're about 10 to the power of 14, 15 minus 14 minus 15.
Somebody was saying in chat to pull out a proton and compare it to the proton inside of the hydrogen atom.
Yeah, you cannot do that. Like, you know, like they're like just too far away. Like that we cannot we cannot see them. Like the system already calls them because like they're just like too distant to the scale. And it's not like you know, there's a thing about atoms is like they're like mostly like empty space. Like the particles actually like super tiny, and just like.
The best analogy I got to compare the actual size of the.
Oh,
somebody was holding on to that.
Sorry.
Take that from the top. The best analogy, at least, that I got for trying to visualize the distance between the nucleus of an atomic structure and the first orbital is pretty much imagine if you put like a tack in the center of a football stadium, the first orbital is at the outside of the stadium past the stands. It's a ridiculous distance. It's not worth doing that to scale on an atomic structure.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh. There we go. Let me actually hit it with the camera spin because they didn't get to see that yet.
So we have an atometer over here. Oh, there's another thing like we're like considering for the original is like adding like Planck length, because there's also like one thing that's like relatively like well known, but the problem is like.
Second, if I remember right.
I'm not sure. It is something like that. It's just like, and the problem with that is like, you know, we're at -17, so like it's just like nothing Planck length.
And at that point, you just okay, well, you just like visualize like Calabi-Yals and shit, and like how do you like visualize a 9th dimensional object?
Well, we can just like show like, you know, some artistic representation of it. It's more just like there will be just like so much nothing like between them. Like if you did like.
Yeah, you need to find some sort of like comparison between where Planck length would be and like.
Also, what is this? Nothing. You didn't see anything.
Wait, was that a logic check?
You didn't see anything.
You didn't see anything.
No, wait, I think we passed it. I think 42. I think is what we're looking for. -42.
You didn't see anything.
But yeah, you have to find some sort of like conclusion to draw from one to the other. Like at that point, you might as well risk trying to depict like what a quark or a lepton or a neutrino would look like, or even a positron.
Well, those are kind of really depict because like they don't have size. Like it's just the concept that doesn't like relate.
I know they don't have like size, but which is why I said like you have to like risk trying to like imagine, you know, the scale of that based on mass. If you want to,
what we could do is we could actually just stay inside of here and end off the stream in here, and I could set a manual, and then we could just like answer people's questions in here about the project. So, because I want to just have like a little bit of time to like have the project, but I feel like you want to stay in here, so.
There's also they just are doing it. There's a did you already, just not?
Oh yeah, there was a question before. Can you connect an avatar to the experience, and we're gonna demo that right now.
So, I just already set up a bunch of seats. Do you want to jump into this? Show it from your perspective.
Yeah, I'll show it.
Duplicate.
Oh no.
Okay.
You can see what it feels like to be part of the experience.
I can see the whole 9 yards right here.
Actually, that's 11.
Whoa.
Lord.
Hello.
And they're gone. Just jump also showed like what it looks like from the. Oh no!
Lord.
Wait, no. Yeah, show what it looks like.
No killing them.
What?
Show what it looks like from this side. I'm gonna jump in myself.
Sure.
Oh wait, I need to actually. Hold on.
He's got it.
Give me a sec. Oh no! What happened?
Oh no! What happened? This is Giant Fruxy. Hello, Giant Fruxy.
Okay, hold on. I need to jump in. There we go.
Goodbye. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
And look, we can.
Hello, tree.
Hello, Frooks. How are
you?
Hello.
Oh no, I'm
Hello.
Hello.
Compared to the size of the car? Yeah. Very good. Very good. Here, let's put you in the car. Here. Oh.
Car.
Oh, well, there goes Frooks.
I'm here.
Hello.
Hello.
Car.
I'm being carried.
I think that has a sound effect on it as well.
Goodbye.
Hello.
Eiffel Tower. Okay, we went way down. Oh Lord. Like the breathing was like cut in and out of existence. All that's missing is like Dopplers, they get bigger and smaller.
Amazing.
Oh man.
Utter chaos, indeed.
Hello.
Okay.
Right, I'm gonna go grab the question board from the HQ. I'll be back in a sec.
Yes.
Sure thing.
Any questions?
But yeah, we'll take this time, you guys, to keep answering your guys' questions. We still have 15 minutes here up on the stream. I hope that you guys have really been enjoying this, and I'm really just so happy that this project is here now fully in Neos. Hello. Oh,
I'm big.
Yeah, you're so big, folks. Camera's right here. Here, I'll
whose
click on
decision was
this
it
to make it visible for everyone.
Sputnik do its beeps? The nice touch.
That was Aegis.
Very
I think
nice.
it was Aegis. Was it Aegis?
It's just quiet enough that you can't quite tell if it's coming from. It's like, I think, gotta be.
Well, if it was even
so Lan is asking, do schools and universities allow custom avatars when used for Neos education?
It kind of depends on the university, like in the school. For example, the one, the Czech Technical, National Technical University, they do. Like, it's actually part of their curriculum as well, because like Peter Klan, he's like the university teacher, he actually teaches about virtual reality and metaverses, and like what metaverses are. And one of the important concepts are avatars, because that's like how you represent it. So students are actually tasked, in one of the lessons, they're actually tasked to make their own avatar.
Christ.
Oh,
so, but for some others, like we just like use, you know, sort of very abstract avatars, like simpler. Like we do have like a version.
Yeah,
of
but if it was for an educational system, then they want to use a structured avatar, or everyone is wearing like something that's similar or optimized, they definitely probably choose that too. And yeah, so choice of the university or the
that's
school.
Cool. Also, like sometimes constraints, because like we do have like a something called Neos Classroom. It's pretty much like almost a spin-off. It's built on top of like Neos, but it's like very simple, like a simplified like UI. You just like pick things from the database as a teacher and like loads them up. You can like quiz the students, like they have to like assemble the models together, and it's just using snappers. It's using the labels. It runs on Quest, so like you cannot really afford to have like custom avatars like this because the hardware like might not be able to handle it, especially with lots of students in there.
That's not it.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about what and how VR is really going to influence out schools in the next like 5 to 10 years. Like already this is substantial for what it is now, but I can't even imagine how it's going to be where it's actually fully accepted. It's actually inside of educational institutions, and you know, everyone can, in the same way how they have their own laptop, they'll have their own headset that they just pop on real quick and then basically have a whole entire class and
like everything's like object oriented.
Just have that experience. Already seeing that on Carol's side where they were showing off what was the name of that class where they had all the quests there.
Yes, this Neos Classroom. There's actually used like a thing in about like 15 schools right now.
Wow.
So like it's actually used like on a whole bunch of them already.
Yeah, and I just thought that it was so cool to see a whole group of like, you know, students sitting around in a table and them all wearing the headset interacting with, you know, the similar thing as the teacher is going through it.
Yeah, it is the Neos Classroom. Yeah, it's pretty much like the Quest one, and it's kind of like where like you cannot afford to have like more like custom avatars like this because the hardware cannot handle it.
Yeah, I'm curious now with the switch over from it not requiring a Facebook account. Do you think that's going to enable it to be able to be better to run through the Quest 2s now? Since because I know that the wall that we were reaching was a lot of universities that can't sign up an account. I was saying that
there's a bit trouble understanding, so a bit of everyone talking.
Yeah, try to go whisper, you guys, for Psychom, because we're talking right here. You're fine. But yeah, the question was because before I remember that the reason why we weren't able to switch over to Quest 2 is because it required to sign up with like a Facebook account, but they're saying that they're going to do away with that. Is that going to enable out to hopefully have Quest 2s inside of Neos Classroom, or
yes, I mean it definitely helps. Like it definitely helps because like with like the school, like the headset is like shared between students, so you don't have like a specific like person who would like to have a particular headset.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it just makes it more accessible. It's also one of the reasons like why some of the universities like we actually talk with, they went with like non-Facebook headsets, because like, you know, you don't have the limitations, you don't have the complications requiring like Facebook, because it's another thing for administration of the school, you know, for the IT, like it just kind of complicates things.
Yeah, but now with them going away from that approach, that's going to make it so much easier for Neos Classroom to then use these like higher-end headsets that actually can run a lot better, and have these brand new Snapdragon chips that are going to be...
Oh yeah.
So...
it's definitely good, like making it like more accessible, like that way, like especially like even like during the COVID, like it's gonna help a lot, because like the schools like would give the headsets like to the students, like they have at home, and like they was gonna like learn remotely like through Neos.
Definitely. And then I Am Greaser is asking, on the other end, no, Cardboard is a way of using your phone as a VR headset using a cardboard, or I'm sorry, I was reading the other. On the other end of the scale, would you consider supporting Google Cardboard in some way? That's what Greaser's asking.
We actually did that. It was like back in like 2014. Like we were experimenting a lot, like with using like VR in education. We did a project that was called Orbis Exempli, and pretty much like the goal was like to see how can we use cardboard, and like how can we use like cardboard. Let me just bring a video. How can we? Also, it's difficult for me to search and talk. I'm just gonna put this on the background. So, I'm gonna put it here maybe, which is, I'm gonna turn the audio, the audio's not important.
Oh, it's checkerboard, right, Mr. Fruix?
Oh, okay, let's just wait a little bit. But pretty much like what we found, like there were like several issues, because like, well, one, cardboard is kinda deprecated in a way, like it's not really well supported anymore, so like it's kind of hard to like build on top of it. Another problem is like that the students, like they have a huge variety of phones, and like we just run into all kinds of like, you know, like practical issues where like it just wouldn't work for some students would have like a good sensor. It also doesn't make for a very good, like, you know, is it playing?
Yeah, it's playing.
It doesn't like make for a good like VR experience, and it's kind of like we try to like limit it, like where with the cardboard, like you just like look at a model, but it just it doesn't have like the immersion, it doesn't have like, you know, the interaction methods. You cannot really grab, like we kind of used we can use like AR methods, like where you had like this like cube and you could actually like move it around and that would like position the object based on it, but it just wasn't like good enough for it, so we kind of like scrapped that.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of like going backwards in the tech, and really I feel like the school can, you know, incorporate having like 30 dedicated quests now or something like that, and really make it so the interaction for the VR is better. Like, but I can understand back in the day of, you know, 2014, it makes sense to have something like this.
There were like many options back then, and like we were trying for like something cheaper, simpler, but it's just a combination of things. It's actually like there's a bunch of things that also like... We also had like AR mode for our students who just didn't like the cardboard, because there's another part is like the cardboard, because it's so like primitive. Like if you use it for longer, like you get headaches, you like it's painful, so like it's not good for prolonged use.
Yeah.
We also have to like keep like, you know, just nothing on their thing. You have to like keep like replacing them as well, because like, you know, they kind of like fall apart, and it was just the problem. Like we found like a lot of students, they just had like all kinds of issues with their phones, because like you have like no standard there. If it's something like a Quest, like, you know, everybody's running on the same hardware. Everybody, if you design your experience for a Quest, you know, everybody will be able to run it. But if you design it for phones like this, like we just get lots of issues.
Thing that a lot of people don't really bring up is, like, if you compare the price of, let's say you're already buying a computer, but if you're comparing, say, the price of a monitor and the price of a VR headset to experience something, VR headsets are actually getting cheaper than monitors. And you get so much more out of it.
We did have a good point brought up in chat that even some new phones won't work with the VR/cardboard because they don't have all the sensors.
Yeah, that was the thing, is like they just didn't have the right sensors to like support it, or they would have the sensors, but like the sensors would be very inadequate, so like the experience would be just, like, you would be like looking, but it would be like way too jittery, way too laggy, like it would be like lagging, like...
Yeah. Yep, and Pineapple is asking, is that AR app in the video powered by Neos?
No, that was 2014, that kind of predated Neos.
Yeah.
We would like to do like AR version of like Neos at some point, don't know when, but it's something I'd like to explore. But that is kind of far future kind of thing.
Can't believe 2014 is already 15 years ago.
What?
Huh?
Future.
What are you talking? Did you say 2014 is 15 years ago?
Yes.
No, it's not. You do not know how to You don't know how to
It's
math.
messing with us. Bring games.
7 years ago.
Bring games.
That was...
I'm living in extra liminal time.
Okay.
7 years is 15
You're living
years.
on your own time, Stiz.
Yeah.
Or travel back from the future.
Arctic is asking, how big is the Neo cylinder? It would be interesting to compare its scale.
Yes. But we can bring it in. Take it from the board and bring it here.
Yeah, there you go. Something that can be done. We wouldn't be able to do that on the stream. We only have 9 more minutes. Actually, 8 more minutes on the stream.
Oh.
Yep. But yeah, keep your questions coming in, you guys. And again, thank you for everyone who's watched today's stream. It was a lot of work to get this project going, and I'm glad that everyone is able to now experience it in its fullest, and we'll only add on more to it, hopefully by those other individuals who are planning on translating it through the vocal experience. Like, I would love to hear this, you know, for the German community as well as the Japanese community, and in Chinese, or all these other languages, so that everybody can experience the universe. Ranger, thank you for the follow.
2 months working, pretty much back to back.
Yep, and absolutely Nightmare. Neos AR, when the AR glasses become mainstream, actually SolarX isn't just a VR company, we're also a augmented reality company, so we definitely will be thinking about having Neos AR once the AR tech gets there, but that's probably not until another like 5 to 8 years till we have glasses that are really incredible that we can use AR.
At that point, wouldn't we just consider ourselves mixed reality, because you just have both AR and VR?
Well, I would say even like right now, like we're not specifically like VR, because like, you know, like we do have like desktop support as well. Like VR is definitely like you know, the kind of center point, but like Neos is a lot more like, it's kind of like about like how you actually interact with the environment and how you kind of build it. Like, you know, you kind of like, you do everything like from within, and like you build your experience.
Yeah,
like
this is how I like to think of it as VR is a way to replace your desktop computer experience, and AR is the way to replace your phone experience, right? Like that's what it kind of comes down to, in a sense, because if you could do everything that you can do with a phone through augmented reality and have like already some sort of like touch sort of thing on there, or be able to see overlays of other individuals, or be able to see the world in a different light, you know, that is really fascinating. And I don't think most people, they look at the negative side, they think of like, oh, it's going to turn out looking like something like Black Mirror type episode, but I think that there's so many more positives that outweigh the negatives. Like people, if surprising enough, people thought that, you know, the whole of the internet was going to be something that was going to be horrible for the youth and going to be horrible for generation, but it's like the internet has enabled us to do so much and has allowed us to extend with our technology. So technology is a double-edged sword. Just be smart with it, and don't let you remember that it's just a tool, and don't let it take over your life. Realize that it's only things to enrich your life.
Black Mirror is fictional.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like Black Mirror as something like we kind of want to avoid. So like we can see like what kind of steps can we take to like prevent that kind of future, make it like, you know, like make it more positive.
Yeah, and Nightmare asks, how would Neos AR work? Well, imagine you have like the same inspectors or the same sort of things that you would inside of a Neos scene, but instead of it being like this open space of scene, that would be actually your physical space, and you could spawn something from your inventory, and you could actually grab it, move it, manipulate it around, and it would work in the same way that you would grab and manipulate something and move it around inside of Neos. So, in that kind of way, yeah, that's how I would imagine, but AR still is not there yet for consumers.
Pretty much like the actual like world, you know, the environment gets like replaced by your actual world. Like for example, if you're like in a room, like that becomes the environment, but you can still have like objects in there. You can like, you know, you could script logics, you could like equip like guns. The way like we want to actually implement it is like, so like all that stuff works. So like if you created like some gadget, like you could like, you know, like you can like I don't know, like you take something silly like what can I take? Like a plasma gun. Where's the plasma gun? There we go. You get like a plasma gun and like does this one work? Yeah, it works. And you can, you know, you can kind of like shoot it around the environment and like interacts. You could actually like, because a lot of the AR headsets, for example, they do like mapping of your environment, so it kind of knows like what the structure of it is. So for example, the particles, they could actually collide like with it like generated like mesh. And I think it could be like really cool. It's like, you know, you just take like all the content that's already like in Neos, spawn it out in the AR headset, and you can just like play with it and like play with it like in your actual room. But the same also goes for the tools. You know, you could like grab like the brushes, you could like grab like logis, you could like start like, you know, to grab like the dev tip and create like objects. But instead of just creating them instead of like creating them in a virtual environment like this, you create them in your actual room. But otherwise, like the principle's pretty much the same.
No, you won't be able to use an inspector to clean your physical room, unfortunately.
Actually, no, that's a really great idea though. Imagine having AR glasses, and then you're seeing it as like you're cleaning up your room as like a mini game. So every single object, it just scans your items in your rooms that would be trash, and then you're taking that trash, and it's almost like the trash bag is like, you know, you're adding in points or something like that. You know, that could definitely it's like it's going to be motivating factor. No, these are motivational factors, which would be fun. Imagine, you know, like there's little globities that you're like having to pick up, and then you're like, they're like, and they're like, I don't want to die, don't kill me, and you're just like, oh, this is fun, blah, 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 blah. You know, I can imagine that.
When I think about, you know, how technology's changed and stuff as well, I remember.
Thanks for the follow, Ethan.
When I was thinking, oh, VR's going to become a thing and all this, like, I thought, oh no, it better not be as bad as it was as that stuff that came out in '94 type stuff with the big bulky headsets and everything.
Red Boy, no, not Red Boy. Was it Virtual Boy? That's what it's called.
No. Don't even. There was before that. There was a headset called the Virtuality headset.
Yep.
And it
that
was
too.
I might have seen that one.
Okay, so we are on our point now, you guys. Thank you again so much for watching this stream. Big thank you to all of the people who helped out to make this project possible, as well as a big thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. And also, if you haven't already, please join our Discord if you have any more questions about Neos VR. We are trying to build out a open source realm of metaverse and really make it so that we can have this virtual universe be the best that possibly can be, and are always listening in on your guys' feedback here at Neos. And we hope that you have an amazing day and stay connected to each other. And you all are amazing. Thank you so much. And again, big thank you for
also remember to catch us on Wednesday.
Yep. Our Wednesday builder streams that we are doing weekly now, they're really awesome. Definitely check us out on Wednesday at 2 p.m. PST.
Yes.
Right, ages, right, others have been like doing a really good job on those.
Definitely.
Can learn more about stuff.
Okay, we're gonna be closing this down. Would you like to find somebody for us to raid? Do we have anybody that we can raid?
Shortly, yes. I'll see.
Okay, cool. Okay, goodbye everyone.
Bye.